A powerful CEO in a tailored suit rushes into a warm cafe, clutching his briefcase, but it's his little girl who stops him in his tracks. Through the frosted window, she spots a young woman sitting on the curb, cradling a baby wrapped in a thin blanket. "Daddy, her baby is freezing," Emma says, tugging his sleeve. What happens next changes both their lives forever. Best sometimes, the smallest heart sees what the biggest wallet overlooks. Nathan Gray had everything money could buy: the penthouse view, the luxury car, the respect of an entire city. But what he didn't have anymore was time. Ever since losing his wife 3 years ago, Nathan buried himself in work. His 5-year-old daughter, Emma, was the only thing keeping him grounded. She was his light in a world that had grown quiet and cold. Every morning was the same. A driver waiting by 6 a.m., his phone already buzzing with calls, and a coffee placed neatly beside him. He rarely looked up until that morning. Emma sat in the back seat, humming softly to her teddy bear as they pulled into a downtown cafe. It was a stop he made every morning for coffee before dropping her off at school. But today, Emma saw something he did in single quotes. Outside, by the cafe wall, a young woman sat huddled in a corner. Her clothes were soaked from the rain. A baby was tucked into her chest, wrapped in a threadbare blanket. Despite the cold, she was softly singing to keep her child calm. Emma's little voice broke the silence. "Daddy, her baby is freezing." Nathan looked up, and for the first time in a long while, his world stopped spinning. Something deep within him stirred a memory of the nights he'd watched his late wife cradle Emma in her arms. He turned off the car. "Stay here, sweetheart," he said quietly, grabbing his coat. But Emma was already unbuckling her seatbelt. "Before we continue with this incredible journey, I spent countless hours researching and crafting this story to bring you something truly meaningful. If stories like this touch your heart and you want to see more acts of kindness that restore faith in humanity, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. It means the world to me and helps these stories reach others who need to hear them. Now, let's see what happens next. Have you ever witnessed an act of kindness that completely changed your perspective? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to read it. The cold air bit against Nathan's face as he stepped outside, his expensive leather shoes splashing in shallow puddles. The young woman looked up, startled, clutching her baby tighter. Her cheeks were red from the wind, her eyes weary but calm, the kind of calm that comes from surviving too much. Nathan knelt down slowly, his voice gentle. "Hey, are you okay? Do you need help?" She hesitated, her lips trembling. "We're fine. I just need a few minutes to rest." But Emma, now standing beside her father, took off her pink scarf and gently draped it over the baby. "It's soft," she said with a shy smile. "It'll make her warm." The woman blinked back tears. "Thank you, sweetheart." Nathan cleared his throat. "Look, there's a cafe right behind us. Come inside, please. It's warm, and I can get you both something to eat." The woman's pride wavered. She wanted to refuse, but the baby whimpered, and Nathan could see the tremor in her hands. Finally, she nodded. Inside the cafe, the contrast was stark: warmth, the smell of coffee, and soft chatter. Nathan asked for 2 hot chocolates and a bowl of soup. The woman sat near the window, rocking her baby gently. "What's your name?" Nathan asked. "Rachel," she said quietly. "And this little one is Hope." Emma giggled. "That's a pretty name." Mommy said hope is like sunshine you can't see yet. For a moment, silence wrapped around them, heavy but healing. Nathan looked at Rachel more closely. Beneath the exhaustion, there was quiet strength. She wasn't begging. She was surviving. As Rachel fed her baby, Nathan noticed how she broke her bread in half, saving the rest for later. There was something deeply human in that small act of restraint, something that stirred him again. "Rachel," he said softly, "you don't have to stay out there tonight. Let me help you find somewhere safe." Her eyes filled again, but she shook her head. "You've already done enough." Nathan smiled faintly. "Sometimes, enough is just the beginning." Outside, snow began to fall, soft and silent, as 3 lives that had been strangers an hour ago shared warmth, compassion, and the first spark of something that would change them all. Over the next few days, Rachel's face refused to leave Nathan's mind. Her quiet gratitude, her baby's soft coos, Emma's innocent laughter, they echoed louder than the boardroom voices and conference calls that usually filled his life. 2 days later, Nathan found himself driving past the same street corner again. The spot where Rachel had been was empty until he spotted her a few blocks away, sitting outside a shelter with a cardboard box of donated clothes beside her. Without thinking, he pulled over. "Rachel," he called out, jogging toward her. She blinked in surprise, then smiled faintly. Mr. Gray, you didn't have to, I know, he interrupted, but I wanted to. That afternoon, Nathan helped Rachel and baby Hope check into a small motel. He paid for a week up front, leaving cash for meals. But what surprised him most wasn't her gratitude. It was her dignity. I don't want pity, she said gently as she accepted the key card. Just a chance to start again. Nathan nodded. Then let's start there. In the following week, Emma insisted on visiting. She'd bring tiny gifts, baby mittens, a stuffed bunny, leftover cookies from home. Each visit softened Rachel's guardedness. Each laugh made the room feel a little less temporary, but soon, complications arrived. When news spread that Nathan, the CEO of Grayline Logistics, had been seen helping a homeless woman, gossip flared. A tabloid ran a photo of him leaving the motel, implying scandal. Board members began to question his judgment. Nathan's assistant, wary, warned him, "Sir, the company's image is at stake." He leaned back in his chair, jaw tightening. If compassion hurts our image, maybe it's not the kind of company I want to run. Meanwhile, Rachel overheard two staffers whispering when she stopped by Nathan's office to thank him. Shame burned through her cheeks. That evening, she packed her few belongings and left the motel without a note. When Nathan arrived the next morning and found the room empty, he felt something unexpected. Not anger, but loss. Emma looked up at him with wide, worried eyes. "Daddy, did we do something wrong?" He shook his head slowly. "No, sweetheart. Sometimes, people run from kindness because they've been hurt by it before." As he stared out the frosted window, the snow fell again, heavier this time, as if echoing the quiet ache of someone who just realized kindness sometimes comes with heartbreak. For days, Nathan couldn't focus. The reports, meetings, and projections blurred into background noise. He found himself driving through snow-dusted streets late at night, hoping for a glimpse of Rachel and baby Hope. But the city was vast, and the world can be cruel to those who vanish quietly. Then, one frigid morning, a knock came at his office door. It was his assistant, holding a small envelope. "No sender, sir. Just your name on it." Inside was a note handwritten, shaky but heartfelt. "Thank you for reminding me what kindness looks like. Hope is better now. I couldn't let your life get messy because of me. Please tell Emma her bunny still sleeps beside Hope every night." Below the words was a smudged fingerprint, tiny, from the baby's hand. Nathan sat back, overwhelmed. But something stirred inside him, not guilt, but determination. That afternoon, he called an emergency meeting. "I want Grayline to launch a community program," he announced. "Housing, job training, childcare, real help for struggling mothers." There were murmurs around the table, then silence. "This isn't charity," he continued firmly. "It's humanity. And if anyone has a problem with that, there's the door." Weeks passed, and the initiative took off. Nathan personally visited shelters, speaking with mothers, listening to their stories. For the first time, his success felt meaningful. Then, one afternoon, during a charity event for the new Second Chance program, he saw her. Rachel stood near the back, her hair brushed neatly, wearing a donated coat and holding baby Hope, who now wore a pink beanie Emma had once given her. Their eyes met. For a moment, everything else disappeared. She walked up shyly. "You did all this because of us." Nathan smiled softly. "No, Rachel, because of her." He nodded toward Emma, who was playing peekaboo with Hope. "She saw something I didn't. A person who mattered." Tears welled in Rachel's eyes. "You saved my life." Nathan shook his head. "No, you gave mine a reason." That night, as the sun dipped behind the city skyline, Nathan, Emma, Rachel, and baby Hope stood together beneath the glowing banner, "Kindness is contagious." And for the first time in years, Nathan didn't feel cold anymore. A year later, the city felt different. Maybe it was the crisp spring air, or maybe it was the quiet ripple of change one act of kindness had started. Nathan stood at the grand opening of the Hope Haven Center, a new facility built by his company's foundation to support homeless mothers and children. Bright murals painted by local artists lined the walls, and laughter filled the courtyard. Rachel was there too, not as a guest this time, but as the center's program coordinator. She wore a badge proudly pinned to her sweater, and baby Hope, now a toddling 1-year-old, clung to her leg, giggling as Emma chased her across the grass. A local reporter approached Nathan with a microphone. "Mr. Gray, what inspired all of this?" He looked at his daughter, who was now helping Hope steady herself on wobbly feet. "It started with a question," Nathan said quietly. "Daddy, Her baby is freezing. The reporter smiled softly. And what did that teach you? Nathan thought for a moment. That sometimes the smallest voices see what the rest of us forget, that every person deserves warmth, dignity, and a chance to begin again. As cameras flashed, Rachel joined him, placing a hand over her heart. You didn't just save us, she said, her voice trembling. You gave me a reason to believe again. And now, I get to help others do the same. The crowd applauded. But Nathan's eyes were on Emma. He knelt down beside her and whispered, You did all this, sweetheart. Emma grinned. We did it together, Daddy. And for a fleeting moment, surrounded by hope, laughter, and the echoes of compassion, it was clear that kindness wasn't just an act. It was a legacy. Nathan's company continues to expand the Hope Haven program across multiple cities. Rachel now mentors other women rebuilding their lives, and baby Hope, once freezing on the street, grows up surrounded by love and opportunity. As for Emma, she's still watching the world with a heart wide open. Stories like this remind us that extraordinary kindness still exists, often where we least expect it. If this story touched your heart, please like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe for more real stories that restore faith in humanity. And remember, sometimes, the greatest change begins with a simple question. Daddy, her baby is freezing. Now it's your turn. What act of kindness will you perform this week? Share your promise in the comments below, because kindness shared is kindness multiplied.